Ola has taught us quite a lot if you've been here. Managing your expectation, emotional intelligence, how to control our emotions. Back in the day, if I'm doing this show, the way I will come for that freeze.
Man of prestige. Ha! Now this guy win. Now you win. Now you win today. Now you win. I agree. Man of prestige. Now man you be.
I'm sure some people will be jealous now the way I talk about Ola. But I have learned a lot from him. That's why I keep telling you to follow him. If you don't follow Man of Prestige, now you know.
Yeah, we find her, the beautiful girl we've been missing. We wanna have her kissing. We find her, now we in love. Say Gosso, the remix.
DMB, Tux Bites, remix.
Now if I had to lose you like a bad phone connection, I'd change my game to get a better reception. Sit back, let's start this interaction. Don't fight the feelings, just a chain reaction. Your heart won't give you the wrong instructions. Like my GPS, yes, I got the right direction. We gotta merge together like a road intersection. Last stop is gonna be my love and affection. I ain't like the mother dudes, they wanna call you shorty, but I'ma call you a beautiful girl. I took your picture home, my mama saw it, she's a very, very beautiful girl. I wanna put you in my video, cause you're so beautiful. You're a beautiful girl. So when you hear us on your radio, turn up your stereo. It's beautiful girl.
Gotta find a shorty, what's worth of a lady. It's nice, but maybe doesn't look like 40. It's taking a little time. I wasn't seeing no signs, any traces of my baby. Who's gonna be my baby? But I thought I'm gonna take my time. Within it took a long fine eye. I saw a shorty passing by. She's got this very pretty smile. It was right at the bus station. I tried to make a conversation. Holding her arms, feeling so tough. I felt this sensation. It's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. Now I realize I found me a beautiful girl. She's a model, she's so fine. I just wanna take it by beautiful girl. Sparkling eyes are killing it tight. I found me a beautiful girl.
Body me LP, oh yeah,
My wish came true when I saw you, girl. God must have blessed me with your beauty, girl. Looking so right from your head to your toe. Shaped like a cocoa bottle with a smile of a queen. My queen to be, you my destiny. Got a body of a goddess with your beauty. I'm impressed and I'm never in distress. Come on over and be mine. Been searching for a man, they now all the cats keep looking to mine. With a sexy walk and a sexy talk, she must be from a planet called the sexy world. I know I ain't tripping, better yet I'm thinking put a ring on the finger, we look good together. Take your place in my heart with your beauty. I'ma say that I'll never turn away. Who would think I'm in love? Such the way she smiles at me just really makes me weak. The way she speaks to me just really make me go so weak. Keep staring in her eyebrows. All I kept on saying is wow. Your beauty shines and breeze at night. All I really want in my life. Oh yeah. It's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. Fine brown eyes. I found me a beautiful girl. She's my model, she's so fine. I just wanna take it. Beautiful girl. Sparkling eyes, killing tight. I found me a beautiful girl. Yeah, beautiful girl. One beautiful girl, yeah. Beautiful girl. Damn. Money. You seen her? Hot Ice. Have you seen her? LP. Have you seen her? I'm gonna go over to Tux Bites. I know you've probably seen her. He has a lot of beautiful girls with him. Tux, it's DMB, baby. Look. Beautiful. I look for a while, but I can't seem to find a beautiful girl so I can make her mine. Time after time, I've been searching for a while, but every girl I meet never seems worthwhile.
What can I do? I pray to God for an answer. I feel pains in my heart like cancer. And when I find her, I'm gonna romance her. Laced up with presents and gifts, call me Santa Claus. I make a heartbeat pause. That's my girl, homeboy, not yours. The girl of my dreams, she's more than I ever thought. Show me ass and culture, I think I'm getting punked. She's what I really want, so I'ma go get her. Since I'm a go getter, you know I'm gon' get her. And I will give her the world, anything for my beautiful girl.
Psych. Ooh, it's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. Fine, brown eyes. I find me a beautiful girl. She's my model, she's so fine. I just wanna take it, beautiful girl. Sparkling night, killing time. I find a beautiful girl.
Girl, it's your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Make love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, we're done enough.
Ola has taught us quite a lot if you've been here. Managing your expectation, emotional intelligence, how to control our emotions. Back in the day, if I'm doing this show, the way I will come for that freaks.
Man of prestige. Ha! Now this guy win. Now you win. Now you win today. Now you win. I agree. Man of prestige. Now man you be.
I'm sure some people will be jealous now the way I talk about Ola. But I have learned a lot from him. That's why I keep telling you to follow him. If you don't follow Man of Prestige, now you know.
Ladies and gentlemen of Prestige, welcome back. What is going on? Do me a favor as you're coming back. Please do me a favor. Hit that like, share, and subscribe. D-Love, what is going on? Good to see you. Please hit that like button. Welcome back. All right, we've got some stories to cover, so let's get to work. Again, please do me a favor. Hit that like, share, and subscribe. All right, and my name is Ola. I'm coming to you live from my Empire Pro Studios. Basically, we talk about trendy topics, but our goal is one thing and one thing only. We want to extract all the lessons, okay? Anything that has to do with relationship from our power, self, social, seduction, attraction, emotional intelligence standpoint. That's what we do here, okay? So, and then if we have time, we'll talk about marriage and all those good things, nice. But we're just going to stay focused on the lessons, the one that you probably can't find anywhere else, okay? But I appreciate you. Welcome back. If you haven't done so, make sure you go and download the book. And actually, very, very soon, it's going to be books. As you can see, we start to advertise number one red flag right there on the left-hand side. So you can download them from loveandprestige.com, okay? I'll leave that on there for as many times as long as I can, But yeah, the first book is basically our story, our testimony, and the second one is for anyone who is obsessed with red flags. But yeah, we're going to talk about that sooner or later at some point, all right? But how are you all doing? Let me just make sure that audio is good on my end over here, because we're not talking about you like Doche or so. So I have to check myself. But shout out to all 4 of you or 3 of you watching me live. I appreciate you. We've got a few stories to cover today, and without any further ado, I'll just go ahead and get into that, okay? I'll be right back. All right. So we will be covering this story a little bit later. This story that you're looking at on this Baba story that you're looking at on the screen. Let me see if I can minimize that for you to see very well. Let's see here. I can't see that way. Well, the story of Hassan, we're going to be talking about that in a little bit. But let's warm up with some other stories that's going on right now. Okay, let's do that. There's this story of Brittany Renner. You guys know who Brittany Renner is? Anybody know who Brittany Renner is? I'm just gonna go ahead and go through this. She's known as an IG model, something like that. I don't know, but it's been the talk of the town on YouTube in particular, especially over the past 24 hours or so. So there's some things that we could talk about there, but I'm just gonna go through this really quickly. Let's see. Hold on 1 second. Let's just make sure that we don't get interrupted. There you go. Awesome. Great. Yay. Just wanted to make sure we don't get interrupted. Great. All right. So Brittany Renner, I'm getting all those pop-ups. Jesus Christ. Brittany Renner, ex-girlfriend of NBA and Charlotte Hornets star PJ Washington, basketballer, gives Charleston White a lap dance in bizarre Danza Project podcast scenes. And I've seen a bunch of people talking about this since yesterday. The reason why I'm covering this kind of story is, again, I just want you to check yourself, what kind of stories are you making the standards for what you need to learn about relationships, right? In terms of building your skills, your game when it comes to romantic relationships, who are the people you're using as standards, right? And what kind of expectations do you have with these people, right? That's why I'm covering this kind of stories, okay? But let me just share with you, and then you get to tell me if this is somebody that you will even pay attention to at all. But again, these are some of the people that our young men especially are paying attention to, and they're using them as standards to determine what is out there, to determine what they think is out there in the marketplace in terms of potential wives. Women also do the same thing. They look at the kind of men in this type of scenery, and this is how they determine if there are competent men or women in the dating scene. And it's getting worse and worse because there's a heavy focus on this kind of story. So I can decide to ignore them, right? Or I can engage them and then help a few people course correct. Okay. So Brittany Renner apparently was a girlfriend to PJ Washington, who is a very popular guy. We just got a huge deal, by the way, in basketball. PJ Washington and so here's some highlights. And PJ Washington and Brittany previously dated, and they share a child. The couple began dating sometime in 2020 but broke up the following year. DailyMail.com provides all the latest international sport news. Okay, so let's look at this. Brittany Renner, the ex-girlfriend of Hornets forward PJ Washington, has gone viral due to a bizarre appearance on the Danza Project podcast. Renner, who shares a child with Washington, appeared on the podcast along with internet personality Charleston White, which we've covered him, although it's some crazy guy we've covered here in the past. Another person that is being flaunted all over the place because people are just chasing clout. Okay. Appeared on the podcast along with internet personality Charleston White, and things got out of hand. In a clip from the show, Renner can be seen sitting on top of White, that means Charleston White, and giving him a lap dance. Let me see. Is this a video? I wonder. Let's see. That's not a video. Okay. All right. This is more like it. The Renner splashed water on White, who is believed to be in his early 50s. So old man, and the host of the show as well. So this girl basically was splashing water all over the place. They were tolerating it. They were basically I don't know. I don't know what they were doing. It just looked very, very weird. But they keep bringing her on these shows, right? The Renner, 31 years old, and Washington, 25, started dating sometimes in 2020 before breaking up the following year. Okay. NBA player writing a vague tweet about someone faking it all along. Oh, he was butthurt. He was dating, again, another older lady. All right, so is this PJ Washington right here? I guess that's him right there. Young man. I think he was 22 at the time that they got together. All right, let's see. So that's the lap dance. Let me see. Okay, it's a video here. Let's just play this on Twitter somewhere.
Me to be wet. You know, moist is one thing, but wet is just another. It ain't what we shooting for. You know what I mean?
Isn't that
Miss Ma'am.
no?
No,
Come on, please. Come on, man, please.
No?
Come on,
I
man,
need you
please.
I need you to be kind and respectful to my guests.
All right, so I'm not sure how far they're gonna go with that. Let me
Where
just
that
see if we
pin
can fast
poker
forward.
at, man? Go ahead.
All right, so I fasted.
Oh,
So now she started spraying water all over everybody, threw the bottle away. This is supposed to be a set of a podcast, right? So what I've noticed that a lot of people who complain a lot about some of this conduct, they tend to also bring them on podcasts. I just want you to pay attention to that, okay? I do think she was drunk, okay? There she goes twerking. I don't want to show too much of twerking stuff on this video. She might as well just take off her panties and things like that. She's throwing water all over the place. All right, some of this guy will come back and complain about this type of behavior, but they're the one entertaining the behavior. Somebody asked me earlier today and said, what is one thing that I think black women are doing wrong? And I thought it was a trap question. It's a trap question. All right. These are some of the trap questions out there, because people are always on the edge. They think somebody's out to get them. When we tell them what we know about relationships, they'd rather listen to some of this podcast and some of the rhetorics. They'd rather listen to them than healthy stuff. But I get it. It's okay. It's the way it's supposed to be. That's how it's set up. That's why it takes work. It takes being self-aware. Shout out to Nato. I heard you talking about self-awareness a lot. Or not to be sure when I was listening in the background earlier. A lot more self-awareness than just running to the internet and taking talking points and running with them. So I've seen a lot of people react to this on the internet since yesterday, but they're the same one actually rewarding the bad behavior, directly or indirectly. As a matter of fact, I may be helping them right now. But I had to do this because I had to point out what it looks like when this is not the standard. There's nothing to do with this information, right? No, I'm not gonna hold her accountable. Are you mad? Are you smoking? What are you? I'm not holding strangers on the internet accountable.
Are you mad?
No, I'm not. There's always been women or men that can't conduct themselves properly, on the internet. It's always been that way. But the people that have always won in relations have always won too, because they know how to find their way to the information that matters. In fact, there's always been a saying in Yoruba land, we're doing work, more. Right? It's always been that way. There's nothing new about Brittany Renner. It's nothing to overreact to. The more you overreact to a Brittany Renner, the more of them you see. Have you paid attention to that? The more of them you're going to notice. And this has to do more about you than Brittany Renner, because Brittany Renner from day one, well, from the day that she's been going viral. Why? Because you're giving her more attention. You're rewarding the bad behavior, essentially. Okay? Renner, who has been linked in the past with James Harden, Lil Uzi Vert, and that's another rapper, I think, and a slew of other celebrities, has previously denied suggestions that she somehow entrapped Washington into having a baby. So she went viral about last year or maybe about 2 years ago. People were claiming that she entrapped the young man who was 22 when they decided to get together. You asked me to move in with you. This is a quote directly from her. Okay. You asked me to move in with you. You wanted me to have your child at 22 years old. And here we are. I told you I'm okay to wait. I'm not in a rush, she added. Renner told academics that she and Washington met when she was 26 years old, right? While he was playing at the University of Kentucky. Washington is entering into 5th NBA season and has made over $17 million to date in his pro career. He signed a 3-year, $48 million extension with the Hornets this summer. I saw somebody saying, oh yeah, because she's mad that she's not getting the $48 million, they're no longer together anymore. Somebody was saying that. So it must be that she's salty, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, right. She can get another one. She can get another 21-year-old. And many of these 21-year-old, 22 years old that are listening to some of these lame content creators will still get with her. That's the reality. All right. So all together, let's just all stop the cap.
Stop the cap.
All right. There's always been a Brittany Renner. It is what it is. There's nothing special about the fact that she's twerking or giving someone a lap dance on a podcast while she was drunk. And yes, being drunk is not an excuse, but it's weird to jump onto the internet and start holding. It's weird to be holding strangers or women that move a certain way, to be holding them accountable. You don't accomplish anything with that. They will continue exactly the way they are, you know. But welcome back. I was warming up. Not too far. Good to see you, Jerry. They say hello. She said waiting Beres. No worries. We're getting into it. All right. Let me grab another, maybe one more story before we get into the main story of the day. I'll be right back. All right, let me go ahead and share my screen again. I don't know how that happened. I lost it there. Okay, there you go. So we're talking about Boosie. Boosie is another rapper, but I'm watching this video. It's about parenting, okay? So I thought it would be interesting to just listen to it together. Maybe we can extract 1 or 2 lessons from this, okay? He's a rapper. Let's just listen together and let's take it from there. Let's see.
Yeah, I told her I black eye. Yeah, she was embarrassing the fam. I mean, she was giving her body away at football games in the bathroom, man.
She was giving her body away at football games in the bathroom, just in case you didn't hear the English. Maybe the English is not Englishing, okay? He's talking about his daughter, okay? He's responding to his daughter who called him out on an Instagram live. I'm listening for the first time, okay? But I thought it would be interesting because I always find his character a bit funny. So, but now they're talking about fatherhood and, you know, single parenthood and all that kind of stuff. So let's continue.
I mean, she going to my games, having sex in the bathroom with boys. I mean,
she's doing karaoke with boys in the bathroom. He's talking about the daughter. He's live on Instagram.
I probably told her more than that. That's the kind of dad I am.
There's a comment in the comment that says, give her 2 black eye. Okay, it's weird. Let's continue. He said, that's the kind of dad I am. I'll be closer. Pressure. Let's continue.
We gonna tell the truth. Let's keep it real.
Hey, what did he say? Truth tell us. Truth tell us. Ain't that? We're not dead. All the truth tell us. We gonna tell it is what it is. Let's keep it real. Okay. Let's continue.
I did it. I'll say it again.
Somebody in the comments said they're not going to tell that part. Which part? The truth? Oh, he's telling the truth. Okay. All right. There's a lot more going on behind the scenes, so there's more to it that they won't tell us, right? But this person is in this comment right now saying they're not going to tell us that part, right? The part that, well, whoop. You know, what's a father to do, right? We're going to uncover a little bit more of this in a second. Hold on 1 second.
You're embarrassing the family. What the and the mama okay with it.
The bashing the family said, what the F? And the mama is okay with it. And he's just telling you all of Monitoring Spirit, there's about 210,000 of them on this particular video. He's telling you all the truth, right? What did Kayla say? I'll see if I can find Kayla to come and talk about this kind of stuff. I will see. I don't have a relationship with her. Beefing with your child on the internet, disgusting. No, he's just telling the truth. As long as you're telling the truth, you didn't do anything wrong, right? It's just the truth, right? Wild.
Mama let 19-year-old boys stay with a 14-year-old.
Mama let 19-year-old boys stay with a 14-year-old. Share my translation is translating. Give me some credit, I beg. It's hard to hear it, okay? Pause.
Yep. Yeah, I told her black eye.
Yeah, I told her black. That means ASS, by the way.
Yep. She was embarrassing the fam. I mean, she was giving her body away at football games in the back. I probably said more than this.
Oh, he said, I probably said more than this. He probably said more than this, right? So give him a break. It's not really on the internet throwing his daughter under the bus. Just give him a break, right? All right. I want you to pay attention when people start to the stories again, the standards that people are using to direct their life when it comes to relationships and marriage. These are the standards, right? And somehow they want me to hold Boosie. I'm not holding Boosie accountable. That's stupid. Okay, Boosie has always been Boosie. He's a rapper. And then he's a celebrity, right? He has a certain type of lifestyle. There's always been this type of lifestyles out there. They have their own culture. He got whatever he has going on. But no. Let's pick one side of the father and the daughter, the one that suits a narrative more, and hold them accountable. You don't know them. But I want you to pay attention. These are the standards that you don't want to use at all. You just want to look at it and say, hey, that's what this is at the end of the day. But let's keep going, because this guy, as a parent, believe it or not, is influencing a lot of people, directly or indirectly. So I have to spell some things out.
I probably said more than that. Who let a 19-year-old man stay with a 14-year-old? Who let a
No, you should not let a 19-year-old stay with a 14-year-old. I just heard somebody say, wait, so you think that's okay? No, I don't think that's okay. All right? But I'm not sure which one is worse. Jumping on the internet to be a truth teller about your daughter, or telling us something that we can pretty much guess that there's more to the story that you probably won't tell us, right?
19-year-old man stay with a 14-year-old. Stay in the house. Walking around with his boxers on.
He was walking out with the boxers on. Now that's wild. Somebody said, damn, I know that hurt your heart. That person don't care. They don't care.
Sad. They mad. And she mad about her brother, man, you know. He playing spades with Tupac right now.
Oh, she lost her brother too. Oh, okay, that's sad, right? He's playing spades with Tupac. Oh, Moroso.
So there's a lot of hate. There's a lot of hate involved.
Somebody said, well, damn. Too much information, OG, get off here. Somebody's actually trying to tell him in the chat. Too much information, get off. Some people still have sense. Go figure.
I was trying to get my daughter from that situation, man, you know. How you go from...
People say, nah, not space. Playing space with Pac. And they're laughing about that.
Alpharetta, Georgia, Catholic school, private school, making straight A's, to letting a 19-year-old live with a 14-year-old.
Oh, God. Somebody help.
I don't play.
Somebody said, don't say too much. And somebody said, and that's statutory. You know, the fruit that rhymes with. Let's continue.
About my daughter, shit. I don't play about my daughter.
Oh, wow.
You look at...
Somebody said, log off, gang. Wow, man. And then the next person said, laugh my ass out. Somebody said, you need to go to church. You have a lot of hate around you.
Told her more than that. And she mad about her brother. You giving away yourself in the bathroom at games, at my son's football game. I ain't going.
That's wild.
Hopefully I instill some fear in her.
Somebody said, in all caps, nobody care how y'all feel. She's a child at the end of the day. And her mommy act like she her friend. There's more to the story. We're getting there. There's more to the story. Okay? There's more to the story. I did see a little peek of the mom thing that they're mentioning right now. And we're going to talk about that, right? It takes two people to create a child, right? But even more so, it takes a village to raise the child. That is still very, very true. A lot of people are discounting that, and that's part of the problems. But some of these people are coconut head. It's pride. Pride. Somebody said charge it to the game.
Ain't work. What y'all talking about? Jay-Z would.
Somebody said the shade room in here. Chill.
Never. Jay-Z ain't got my baby mom. Beyonce would never.
Oh, Beyonce would never. They always say that. They think you're lucky. Like the girl you got. Like Jay-Z just magically attracted a Beyonce. He wasn't a certain type of man. I'm being sarcastic. You have to be a certain type of man to attract a certain type of woman. You have to be a certain type of woman to attract a certain type of guy. This is an absolute. It's always true. Okay? Until you tell me more about the rest of the story. Okay? No. Jay-Z wasn't just lucky. Okay? The problem is that they won't listen to me. Listen. He finds it funny.
You giving away.
I ain't gonna let no celebrity.
All right, so this is the daughter. Pay attention. Let's see what the daughter is saying. I will try to translate.
Yourself in a bath.
Let's go.
In my head, who? I ain't no yes man or nobody, and that's what y'all expect me to do. Be a yes man today. What? Cause he my daddy?
To be a yes man to him. What? Why? Because he my daddy? I need to be a yes man to my daddy? How do we go about this? Yes man, daddy. Alright, that child has no respect for her daddy. That has nothing to do with yes man, I promise you, okay? She has no respect for her daddy. You guys saw me here with my daddy, right? Okay. Did that look like a yes man? No, that wasn't relevant, right? But respect, oh yeah. There's none here, right? But let's keep going.
Well, not even my daddy, because he my sperm donor.
Not even my daddy. Why? Because it's my sperm donor. Oh, she doubled down on that. Ouch, that must hurt. Right? That must hurt. Parenting. Damn. Parenting the poto. There's a lady in the chat says, stay out your mama and daddy business. There's another person saying, girl, cut it. Cut it. My baby mama stay in the same apartment. Okay. She's not listening to y'all. Sorry, I'm sorry. It's a lost cause, okay? There's no amount of chatting that can do this parenting right now. Now, this young lady looks like she's what? She's a 14? Ouch. And she's on live.
I don't even deserve this title. That's why he called sperm all along. Like, what?
I didn't hear that part.
I don't like all that. Then I gotta hear from about this on live. Talk about it.
Then I have to hear about all of this on live. She might as well just start cursing them out in the chat. Because they're trying to correct her, right? Somebody says she's human at the end of the day. Of course, I want supporters. It's Onu and Be. Yeah. There are supporters there, of course. She's human at the end. No, she's a child, not a human. Allah, are you saying she's not a human? Listen to me carefully. I don't care if she's a human or not. She's a child. Okay? But if you're trying to say it's not her fault that she became this, maybe we can talk about that. Maybe. Right? But yeah, at this point, this is parenting.
Everything I do, I will.
Listen.
Interview about me. What my cut at? Instead of bringing up my name, where's my...
Somebody said he act like my daddy. Somebody said you act just like him. That part.
cuts? And I don't even need the money, but it's just the principle though. I do. Like, they say I'm...
That's the mother sounding in the background saying, I do. There's a mother in the background, it seems, encouraging the behavior. Am I surprised? No, I'm not surprising. Why am I covering this? Hey, this is not your standard. Stop comparing. Stop comparing yourself to this type of situation. There's a lot more going on here. This is not modern women. You're hurting yourself when you say that. This is not modern women. This is a certain type of people. This is not black Americans. This is a certain type of people. You need to pay attention to how you see these things. There's some things you should look at on the internet. Be entertained and keep it moving without internalizing it as this must be your situation. It's really that. Somebody asked me today, said, are there still good women out here on the streets? I'm like, ouch. Of course. What have you been watching?
Money hungry. Yeah.
Like,
you want to come get a DNA test? That's how that go.
That's the mama saying you want to come get a DNA test. Somebody said, why your mama put him on child support? Okay, because there's money. Greed. No be your mate.
Left of the
right. Then you talk about some hood right there. It's hood right there. We have a baby for a hood rat.
Wait. I'm confused. Who had you when your mama was in jail? Oh, mama was in jail. That's great. That's wild.
Who knock at their door to
Who knock at a door to see if the hood rat baby he's
like, come on, man.
I'm not understanding the rest of it. Is this English? I don't know.
Like, y'all don't remember back in 2021 when he was on all them voice recordings talking about something, he was going basically it was saying how he was gonna like hit me and all that, put his hands on me and all that, black my head. I ain't gonna let no celebrity get in my head. Who?
I think the celebrity is getting in her head. She has some audience watching her right now, obviously. The mother is encouraging it. What do you expect? If you create children all over the place, if you create children outside of a controlled environment, what do you expect? Right? If for some reason, which happens to even good people, you find yourself in divorce, but you refuse to come to the table and negotiate something that can work for everyone, what do you expect? You forgot that there are children involved? Oh, this is what it becomes. It starts at about 12, 13, 14. Right? Because at about 12, 13, 14, if you remember, you start feeling like, I got this. I'm an adult too. I'm a human. Right? So what do you expect children to do when one side is pampering them or they're encouraging the behavior? Why? Because they're caught up in their own emotions, right? And you too, the first solution you can think about is to jump on the internet to tell the truth, right? Who is going to back down for who? Who's going to act like the adult? Somebody said, well, if you go high, if you go low, somebody said, if you go low, I go to hell. And they think, and they think they are hurting somebody else. You're hurting yourself. It will catch up. Sometimes it catches up in the form of your children, right?
No yes man or nobody. And that's what y'all expect me to do, be a yes man today. What, cause see my daddy? And what I was like, what, about 12, 10, 11? Come on now.
10, 11.
I still got the recording.
What?
The mother said, I still got the recording. Are you keeping recordings? Are you keeping much, what do you call it? Screenshots of the worst moments in your relationship life. Are you keeping them? Right? Why? To do what? To hurt somebody else? No, you will hurt yourself. You don't believe me? Okay. Just remember that I said that. You will hurt yourself. It's only a matter of time. Okay? You're going to look at this kind of video later on. You'll be like, well, she'll be 27 at the time. You're like, well, she kind of started when she was 14. Right? What's the solution the father came up with? Let me throw my daughter under the bus. She was getting run through in a bathroom at a basketball game. That's the solution they came up with. Is this how you were? If you were raised this way, that is a problem. You need to talk to a therapist because it's going to affect you, right? But majority of you looking at this and using this as a standard of conversation when it comes to relationship and marriage, majority of you, you're disengaged from your own personal life. This is not your situation, but it doesn't mean it's not going to hurt you.
Bro, pull him up. Why is y'all acting like he's so right? Thanks to report somebody that really abuse his own.
Why is y'all acting like he's so right? Obsession with being right, right? That's what she's learned now thus far. That it's about being right. So she's actively competing not against a romantic partner now, against her father.
Oh, you're right.
Why is y'all acting like he's so right? I think that's what I heard, right? Jesus Christ. But you had another man name. Oh, they know their business. She has another man's name. Ouch. Somebody said 2023 AMG Benz and got out on child support is wild. You know, remember when Boosie said, I don't play about my child? I believe him. But that's not what it means to be a father. Just like in romantic relationship, you need skills. Yes, skills that you're probably not going to finish learning for another 7 years for all of us. So the best thing you can do in this moment is to engage it and start learning, right? Just because you buy her an AMG Benz or you're giving all the money, they have more than enough, right? You're paying child support does not mean you're a good father. I don't want to take the word good away from you. Does not mean you're a competent father, I should say. Just look at this young lady's face.
Child. Huh?
I'm trying to see why they so mad.
But y'all swear to God. Y'all swear to God. Like I swear to, on my life, I never been materialistic on my life.
Somebody said child support would never amount to what he could have did for you. Terrible, terrible, terrible grammar. But let's just use it. Okay. Child support is not your mate. Somebody pay child support. It's not your space. It's not your place to say it's not enough. It's not. If there is more, let's talk about the more without discounting child support. See, I could read all the way in between the lines of that statement. That statement on paper is correct. Child support will never amount to being a father. But where are you speaking from? Where's your standpoint? Where's this coming from? Right? Because honestly, if you find yourself in a situation and you got rid of somebody's father, right? Most you're probably going to get is child support. If that person deem it that their mental health is at stake, they might just not be able to, they might not be capable of giving you more than child support. And rightfully so, because if they're no longer here, you will never be able to collect not even the child support. Right? So these are some of the things that's enabling this baby girl. These are some of the comments. Child support will never amount to what he could have did for you. That's the least of the issue that's going on in front of us right now. Okay? We have a young lady that's basically going to continue for a while like this before she can potentially, hopefully, someday say, you know what? I don't know if I was right or wrong, but the result I've created is just terrible. Worse than wrong. And she will have to be responsible as an adult at that point in time. Yeah. And the father is probably just a product of the same type of environment. So when you point finger at me and I point finger at you, two to get two, right? Or cancel each other. What's the point? It's just useless. We just keep hurting ourselves. Because everybody's obsessed with what? We're being right.
I've never been materialistic. I don't care. All that don't.
She got an AMG. I'm guessing she got an AMG Benz, and she's never been materialistic. She doesn't care. She don't care. She don't care. Oh Lord.
Don't care. Don't care. Don't care. Still don't care. I don't care. I don't care.
She cares small. She cared enough to jump on the internet to drag her father. Woto. Can you imagine what that guy has been going through, right? Don't forget that. Can you imagine what this family as a whole had gone through trying to, I don't know what they, would they call it co-parenting? Can you call this co-parenting? Ouch.
You fucking up with shit, I'm gonna sue you. What? No,
now listen to this.
Now they are playing an audio of Boosie cursing back at them.
What did you tell her? Put a bag on you.
Y'all can tell that girl how to feel about her experience. Who's going to tell them? So her experience, you know where we're going with that, right?
What?
And I always talk about doing something to somebody mama.
I didn't tell nobody to dish you. What did you talking about? What did you tell Tori? Cause she crying.
Somebody say your mama beat her, baby girl. Nobody wins when the family feud, baby girl. She can't comprehend that. I'm sorry. The person maybe that can possibly comprehend that would probably be Boosie. But even at that, they'll be like, well, I don't give a fuck. Right?
And what I was like, what, about 12, 10, 11? Come on now.
I still got the recording.
What? Hold up, she pulling it up. Yeah. Since we gotta bring old stuff out. Like, come on.
I just want to let you know I'm gonna see if you can swim. I don't even know what that means. I don't know what that means. That girl ain't dogged you out. All that girl said was you be busy. I'm taking out my wheel in the morning.
Be taking from me. Come on now.
You call my
wait, my pause.
The funny part about this is one lady said a few of them been smashed in your mama. I'm done. I'm done.
When I was 15, I had a big old black.
Somebody said, why is your mama putting you in grown people's stuff? That's a great question. That's sad. That's sad. You know? This is wrong, man. Somebody said, this is wrong, man.
Part of everybody in Bjork about.
Some people still have sense. Right? They're not worried about if she's right or if it's wrong. They're looking at the optics. It's just wrong. There's nothing good can come out of this. I don't care how much truth you're telling on either side. And it takes one person to shut it down. Just simply don't respond and engage therapy. But I know that's easier said than done when you feel like someone has hurt your feelings too, right? That's easier said than done, I know.
I had a big old block party. This man gave me a big old stack of money.
5 bands.
He gave me a big old stack of money, y'all. Guess what? Soon as everybody left, guess what? He got that back, put that in a bank account. I couldn't even use it. Come on now. I've been getting stuff took from him. So y'all instead of saying, you gonna miss out, you gonna miss out. If that mean I've been missing out. Come on now. Hold up, she pulling it.
Come on now. Come on now. Did I say it right? It doesn't
The whole
matter.
point was about him not being a father. But y'all want to pick out the list of.
So at 14 is when you're going to teach your father how to be a father. I wish I could ask her how's that working out, but she won't be able to comprehend that. Actually, the mother is not on the screen right now, I would be able to like, how's that working out for you? Then I would just shut up and just hear where they're coming from. I'm sure there's more to the story. I'm sure all sides will claim some sort of abuse.
The list of. Never been there for me mentally. Anytime I felt happiness from this man, it was temporary. Very temporary. He bumped it down real quick. Like, come on now, like, I can say a lot.
Somebody said, you a little girl, bro. You a little girl, bro. I'm trying to shake my head. You a little wahala.
I'm really limiting my talking. I can say a lot.
And tell them why you really left them up there.
Oh yeah. First of all, I talked.
Somebody said, oh baby, you cut out this live now. She didn't listen to her father. It's you that will listen to. Yeah, right.
I'm like, I'm moving. I've been telling him I'm moving to Houston. Been telling him. So boom, at the time I had my car, I was doing the transportation. I had to drive up here with my mama. And cause she had a bad car accident. What's that hard to understand?
Someone said, tell truth, baby girl.
Like I was really in a wheelchair.
And then on top of that, we got into it like at least the whole point was about him not being a father. But y'all want to pick out the list of
that AMG Benz, I'ma need that.
Yeah, don't let me play that. That's Boosie right there. Oh God. Somebody said, this is what happens when you don't have the skills or capacity to be a leader. I couldn't have said that any better. An example to your children. The children don't care what you say to a large extent, is the examples that they're paying attention. What kind of example are you being to your children? All right, that goes to all of us. It's not just the Boosies of this world. That goes to all of us. That's really all we can learn from this, you know. And it goes to both sides. Like, I know some people will be happy to pick on the mother now. That's weird too. That's lame. Okay, it's it's both sides. Okay, it's both sides. And if I had to, from what I just seen, the role that mother was just playing right now is just bad. But it's both sides, because I just saw Boosie literally jump on live to throw his daughter under the bus too. That's not okay. That's not how to be a leader. You don't match energies when you're a leader. You are above. We all know this man hasn't operated with any level of decency or integrity publicly. We can only imagine what he does privately. I mean, we just heard his voice yelling at the top of his lungs. I mean, do we need to bring up smoking weed with your kids? Ouch. And allowing a grown woman to statutorily fruit your son. Do better, sir. Yeah, I can't disagree with that person. This is the problem now. Some of these moms too busy. See, pick on the mom. Cancelled. There's no need to do that. There are two. I'm sure you probably addressed both sides. I'm addressing both sides because I just saw video of two adults misbehaving. I can't pick on the child. That is a child at the end of the day. There's two grown adults that's misbehaving right there, you know? It's just kind of sad to watch. But let me see here what you all have to say. Now I'm getting ready to get into today's story. Ify, what's going on? Ify said, it's not surprising considering where they come from. We are Africans. We can never talk this way. Ify, my love. Ify.
Stop the cap.
there are Africans who act that way. I don't know what part of Africa you come from, but they exist. Okay, not to say that mom is a bad influence alone. D-Lo say it seems like she's hurting though. Yeah, she's definitely hurting, and I can't take the size of the adults of this equation. The child is a product of what we just seen demonstrated. It only makes sense to me that a child will act like that on a live when the mother would encourage it and when the father would react or respond in that way, in addition to the recording we just heard. All right, but anyway, yeah, let's hit that like button, share, subscribe. Let's get into today's story. All right, so let's talk about this story. This story is very, very sad. Condolences to the family. But I'm just gonna read, and then I have some reminders for you all, and then I might just call it a day today. Okay. Then I'm gonna play Natu's update earlier because I heard her give an update on Antibisha. I'm gonna play that as well. Because I was actually trying to see if we can find some update, but this story was covered heavily in Orlando, Florida's news. Okay, so this is not breaking news, or we're not breaking any news. It's just we're covering what's out there. But we're going to talk about the lessons that both men and women should learn from this, from my personal opinion. All right. Dark night in Orlando. Husband's unthinkable act leaves a life shattered. Man and his wife in Orlando, deputies said. A man deleted his wife Saturday evening in an Orlando suburb, according to the Orange County Sheriff's Office. Deputies said they responded to the 6600 block of Taxiway Circle around 7 p.m. in response to a deletion. When they arrived, they found a woman in her 40s who had been deleted, according to the sheriff's office. The woman, Nanchin Hassan Adeyemo, was taken to the hospital where she later passed away from her injuries, deputies said. The suspect, Hassan Teddy Adeyemo, remained at the home and was charged with first-degree murder. According to deputies, investigators say this shooting is domestic in nature, as the suspect and victim were married. The sheriff's office says there are no additional details available for release at this time. Now, there's so much going on there, but the first thing that comes to mind whenever we have this kind of crazy story to cover, the first thing that comes to mind for me is anger. Maybe the second thing that comes to mind for me is mental health. Okay, there's a lot of sick people walking around like normal people. There are a lot of normal people, or seemingly normal people. We don't know what somebody is walking around with in terms of what they're going through in their personal lives, men or women. You just don't know. Okay, but with that being said, we can't judge the person that's passed away. Then this person that's being charged right now, we don't have a choice but just to wait. We have to wait because based on the law of the land, is innocent until proven guilty, right? But we can extract some lessons. Okay, we can extract some lessons. Marriage is not a do or die. Okay, the first time I heard that saying I felt a pushback as well, because if I thought marriage wasn't a do or die, I wouldn't engage marriage. Okay, based off of my mindset and where I'm coming from, like marriage is Nollywood, Hollywood, happily ever after. The last thing I want anybody to be talking about is it's not a do or die. That makes me want to say, Kilo me, are you planning something? Are you planning to exit? Are you planning to pull the rug from under my children? Tell me more, right? But up to that point is because I haven't seen crazy news like this, okay? There's a lot of crazy news like this, but I want you to be aware that a lot of crazy news does not mean it's majority of the issues. Majority of the stories out there, I mean. Does not mean it's majority of what people go through. I just want you to be aware of that. Okay? Let's start with that first. Because I understand, especially if you can relate, if you've seen something close to this, your mind will probably go like, okay, let me protect myself. And there's nothing wrong with you. You should protect yourself, especially if you can relate, right? But that doesn't all the way protect you, because you might just be, there's a higher chance you will never go through this. There's a higher chance you're going to find yourself in a relationship that you won't see DV. How do I know there's a higher chance? Because if it was the opposite, it would be a war zone out there. Everybody will be fighting, right? So I know for a fact that there's a higher chance you will never have to deal with this. But there is a chance you might have to deal with this. God forbid. My prayer is that you won't have to deal with that, right? But the way we paint these stories oftentimes is that an average person will have to deal with this, and that's just too far from the truth. But I want to say this. It's very important that I say this. For every single one of these cases is one too many. We can't afford any single one of these stories, for obvious reasons. Number one, because this is an innocent person that just passed away, that just got deleted, right? There are children involved, probably. There's a whole family involved. There's also extended families involved. So for that obvious reasons, we can't afford any of this, right? Another reason why we can't afford is because each one of these stories has the magnitude of 10,000 successful stories out there in terms of influence, right? Just think about, I just threw a number at it, right? Just think about fear and faith. Which one is easier to engage? Fear, because we all want to protect ourselves. Okay? So it's one too many. It's one too many. We can't afford this kind of story. I don't care if it's half of it, of the story that will get everyone every year. We don't want this story. We don't want this kind of crazy story. But there's a couple of things that you can do on your part, right? On your part. There's some things you don't have any control of, but there's some things that you have control of. And we can also talk about that today. Okay? So this is absolutely a tragic story when I saw it. And Tobi was sharing with me last night. And I was like, I usually try to shy away from this kind of story, but there's some lessons that we should engage. Okay. Now I'm going to play the update that Natu gave and Tobi earlier. Right. Let's see. There you go. I'm going to play this. And then we'll talk more about it.
Live. What are you going to tell them? Okay, Natu, let's hear.
TV, so this person literally was calling me while we were talking. Patrick. He watches your show too, and he knows her very well. Like when I mean no. So he said that they came from Nigeria. So you know the reason for the lady marrying the guy was like, you know, all this family pressure, get married, and she's one doing good. So they got married. They came here. I think they came here with the older kids, and they married different people to get their papers. So now, yes. So now they all have, I think, like divorce those other people to get back together. And he said the lady, when he means, can you hear me?
I missed something there.
So I think they all now have their papers, and I think they're in the process of like divorcing the other people to get back together. But the guy is not too happy because he said the guy said she's doing amazingly well with the hair braiding. He said the minimum she takes is $600.
Right.
He says Orlando to Daytona like she's the OG of braiding, and yes, she's from Plateau State, like he said. So the guy that called me, we grew up together in Kaduna, so he knows her like family. So because we all speak outside when we come here, we all act like family. So he said that the lady, she even bought 2 Teslas. So he said she bought 2 Teslas. The guy is doing Uber. She paid down payment for his GMC to be doing Uber. This guy does not appreciate her, but every time he's on, he just complain. He's just complaining. And they say he pied her on his birthday. And before it was on his birthday that he pied her.
That's crazy.
On his birthday?
Yes. So I think their own is coupled with like jealousy, like he's envying her because she's doing amazingly well. And the other guy said that she's a very nice person. She's very amazing, she's very helpful, she's a very sweet soul. So yeah.
So the person that made a comment there and said that she's definitely doing better financially, and the person that said that, is relating to finance.
He said she's paying all the bills. She's paying all the bills. She's basically footing all the bills. Like the guy doesn't do shit. He's supposed to be new, but always coming back home complaining. You have a new car, you can't do anything with it. You're always coming to complain. Yeah.
It's a pity.
Yeah. So honestly speaking, when it comes to all the women all doing all these extra things to keep the family together, sometimes it's not even worth it. Because it's very I don't know if I've seen any situation where women that did all of these things ended well. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like it's very rare. So like what's the essence of doing it? Now family pressure, you've gone to marry because this is the person that you like and you not doing well, you want to support him. This marrying down, it gets a B. Go away plus. Like, but that was what the person just said, yeah. So yeah, so that's why they're talking about it. They will say his ex-wife because they don't want it to complicate other stuff. You understand what I'm saying? So they don't say his wife. Yeah, but on American standard, they're not married as couple. But back home, like
yeah, they are married. Just I had to do other things. You see, these are some of the issues coming abroad. These are some of the things that people have to go through just to get the issues there. Obodo you go. May God help us. Thank you.
He said they bought houses. They bought 2 houses. Supposed to start doing Airbnb with 1 or something like that. But he said the guy at some point started saying that there is no God, and he keeps arguing with them. So that explains what he did. You understand what I'm saying? Because one of my friends sometimes yes, the husband will say there's no God. He say if there's God, why are people suffering? Now my friend said anytime you post anything about NSPPD, he'll say people continue deceiving yourself. That his wife is just wasting money, giving money to church, that she's doing tithes, she's doing offering, she's sowing seed. So you can see all the compilation of everything is coming from.
I see. Okay. Seems like the issues are deeper than what we know. Of course, we don't know much about it, but thanks for that, Natsu.
No, no.
All right, my darling. I appreciate you. Have a good afternoon.
All right, shout out to Auntie B for that clip. Natsu, Brother Patrick. Hello, sir.
Hey, hola.
Hello, madam. Adeyemo. How are you, sir?
Fine. Thank you for having me. I was supposed to say one thing or the other
on Auntie B's platform.
But I was busy driving. I didn't want to mess up everything.
I see.
Yes, thank God for Natu's background story that he gave us. And I listened to what you just said all about anger, uncontrollable anger and mental health. But I want to say something to all our women. I'm going to have opportunity to say that in Auntie B's platform. I will say that too. Our women, do not marry a lazy man. Ola, there is nothing you will do for a lazy man that this man will appreciate. You can't do that in a marriage. Especially this Obodoyinbo. We are in a capitalist country.
Mm.
This man might even buy you when you have insurance to inherit your property. And there's nothing you will do for this man that this man will appreciate. He will always be looking up to you for you to lift him up. Meanwhile, he has everything to become a man. And you can even be doing, you might think you are doing a favor when your kids are little. What about when they grow up and they want to go to college and you have more expenses to do? So you can, it's no go area. How this place, I'm going to quickly give you a story, short story. I was doing a job one time in a factory. We call it co-pay then. You remember, you know what I mean by co-pay? Let me go and do, yes.
Co-pay, the money should be complete.
Yes, I met a lady there, an elderly lady just like my English. So I was doing nights. And she came to me, she's from Congo. Hola. He said, please, Patrick, can you help me? I cannot drive during snow. Cannot drive? She said he's one of her daughter in high school that used to come and drop her to go. And I said, okay, I will let my wife know. So when I got home, I told my wife, she said, okay, I should help her. So I asked her, where's your address? The next day, she told me. So I went to a place. We are supposed to start at 11. I'll go there before 11, maybe 10:30. I'll pick her up. I'll drop her. I did that for 3 months during the snow. Every snow. Are you hearing me?
I can hear you, sir.
So, you know what, this lady? She was very happy. She now told me her background. She's from Congo. She said it was during the war that they have to move down here. They stayed in camp. She said she just had a baby. She just had twins. And she was in the hospital and they have to move with the other little babies. He said she had a big supermarket and everything was raised down. She said she was carrying the lady, the twins with blood in her body. And she was telling me she had a big shop, big supermarket. That's what she was doing in Congo before this thing happened. He said as soon as they got to the rebels, and they said they got there with those people who were with guns, They said, okay, they know the husband was a pastor. He said as soon as they left, they cleared everybody. They were behind them. Ola, these two kids, twins, they are now in high school, about to graduate. It's one of them that used to come and drop her. That's not where I'm going to, Ola. So I lost touch with her.
Okay.
So one day, my daughter just called me. He said, Daddy, there's a big store here, an African store. The biggest ever. When I say we are the biggest. So she did a video for me. She had a video call and was showing me the half pound, the yam, everything, anything you want to buy, Daddy. I said, no, I didn't plan to buy something. She said, we are good. So one day it snowed, Ola. My wife now said she wanted to eat okra. I said, okay, let me go. Let me even go to this African store. Ola, as soon as I entered the store, I was wearing my jacket. I just heard somebody, this is the man. Ola, I was scared. This is the man. I thought I did something wrong. You know who owned the store? That woman. The biggest African store in my city. The man said, Patrick. I said, what? He was telling his worker. He said, this is the man I'm talking about. This is the man. I said, oh my God. I said, Mama, I said, this is my son, Patrick. He said, anything I want, I should take it. I said, no. He said, no, Patrick, please. I bought the okra. The woman just packed juice and everything. What am I bringing out from there, Ola?
Right.
The Bible says God is no respecter of person. This is a woman that doesn't speak English, Ola.
But that's just English.
I went home and repented. Said, God, help me. You know what I mean? When I'm talking about the biggest store, the woman that came from Africa, that couldn't speak English, and was working in Fadi, now become the owner of the biggest store in my city, African store. So this woman and the wife and the husband, they combined together and started this. The Bible says we should not despise our little beginning. So if you are harboring a lazy man, you think you love him, you are buying this thing, you are just doing yourself.
Right.
You are just.
So Esa, so if a woman is already in that kind of situation, they're married now, right? What would be your suggestion for a woman who's listening, who feels like, that's my story, I am married to a lazy man? What would be your suggestion for that type of person?
The Bible says, can leopard change his skin? Yes. There is a saying on live you already said, Dori. Yes. This man, when I was growing up, my father works as a civil servant. But by 5 o'clock, you can't see my dad at home. He's gone to work. And in America, there's dignity in labor. You can't have a man to just sit down and be flipping this thing. The remote. The man asks Uber is not driving, he's complaining. What does he want to do? He has to be a man. And this man, men are role model to their children. Yes. Allah, you are this one is your side. Also, you have other things you are doing. Your wife is
by the grace of God.
Everybody. So, Allah as a man, I don't know how you're going to, because what you cannot finish, don't start it.
Yes.
Don't start it. I don't even know how you are going to.
I will talk about my lessons, but hang out, sir. Let me hear Natu.
Present, sir.
Natu, my G. How now?
This one is deep. When I was on a TV show, that guy that called me to give me the update, we grew up together. Our parents are like best friends. He stays in Florida. All of us are from the north. So he was one telling that when he met the lady here and she found out that he went to school in her state, they became, you know how we do when we come to America now?
Right.
Maybe somebody from your own side, you just become family. Exactly. Especially people that are from the north, it's not a lot of us out here. So whenever we meet ourselves, we are excited, we just become family automatically.
Yeah.
So he said she treats him like family. But he said there has been like little complaints about like the husband, he's not like too supporting like that, he's not emotionally available, and like everything lays heavily on her. But there's something that he told me that I was happy about. Her mom is still alive, by the way.
The lady's mom?
Yes, he said they haven't told her mom. Yeah, I don't know if by now they told her, but they said she built a very big house for her parents. And her sisters too are married. She has supported them, help them like secure a house for themselves. And then the parents' house that she built, she was teasing them that if the marriage didn't work, people should come back home. Can you believe that? And then
so people were kind of aware that they've been having issues.
Yes, but she's not like really vocal about it.
Right.
I'm just saying that the house that she built, she was telling her own sisters that if their own marriage no work, made them come back. Not knowing that, you understand what I'm saying? And he says she supports a lot of orphans and widows back home. When I mean a lot. He says she has kids in secondary school, she's supporting nursery school, university, like widows. Yeah, she does all this like outreach for them. So I really don't know, man.
And this guy, it sounds like he was not involved at all in any of that.
No, he wasn't. His daughter, they said his daughter said she doesn't want to have anything to do with him. That's how much.
You said his daughter doesn't want to have anything to do with him?
Yeah, the first daughter, yes. Because his first daughter is married. Her first daughter is married. She's like around 22, I think, from what my friend said. So
and they're here as well.
All of them are here. All of them are here.
Gotcha.
She's doing well. She has houses. Like he said, she was telling him, she says in a day, if she doesn't make anything from her salon, she makes $4,000. in a day. Because she braids hair, her daughters braids hair. Like her daughters, she set them up already. Her daughters are like, they can handle that store. Why she's not even there right now? So he said that her daughters are very good with their hair, like their mom. And her hair braiding, like she charges at least one person, she charges at least $600, and her customers still come back to her.
Right. I mean, this is Orlando, Florida too, so
right.
That market is probably hot out there like that.
Yes.
The guy is a failure, Ola.
He is a failure, honestly speaking.
That's the obvious at this point.
Man, this whole shit it's so. I don't know how much we can do to help ourselves, women. But honestly speaking, like who was saying on today's show today, like there are some things that you see that, like I said earlier, plan an exit. Just have an exit in plan. Honestly speaking. Because if you're married to a lazy person, there's something you can do about it. The person's gonna be lazy for life. It's gonna complain for life. It's gonna lag for life. Like it's gonna take a special baptism by immersion to wash that part of that person away to bring another new leaf. Honestly speaking. So in this situation, staying, and the reason why the guy said the reason why she was staying in the marriage was because of the kids. So
this kind of even down to the ultimate, which is somebody just dying, right? Even that, nobody thinks it's gonna be them until it happens, right?
Yes, I agree.
Right. So, a lot of people are in toxic relationships, but they're not really aware because they've shielded themselves in isolation, and in a deliberate way, like because they don't want to find out something that they might already be feeling like they know already.
Honestly speaking, right? For some people, like sometimes they know. Let me tell you from all the cycles I've been going on, I see people. So they just tell you that so all this that you have suffered for, you come and live for somebody. Listen, you know what?
Right.
Just focus on yourself. Ignore him. Act like he doesn't exist. Just be doing your thing. He's doing his thing. But don't forget that you're living in the same house with that person. He's seeing you. Something is triggering something. Do you understand what I'm saying? So even if you're living and not sending yourself.
Let's talk it out together, including Brother Patrick, right? If you're living with the person, right? You're living with the person. Like I agree with you all that if you could see the end of this story, obviously you should exit. Right? But that's if you could see the end of it, right? So imagine the person that lives with the person, right? The last thing on your mind is that would ever happen, right? Even when it's right in your face, even when you guys are waving hands in your own faces and you're in toxic arguments and you're clapping at each other, that kind of stuff, right? The last thing you expect to happen is what we're talking about today, right? So it's hard. I'm just acknowledging that it must have been hard.
I understand what you're saying. I understand how hard it is.
Right.
But I feel like sometimes we are just oblivious. There's no how we can see the end of anything. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Right.
But the truth that we have started seeing, we've seen a lot of stories that have not ended well. You don't have to wait for it. Hausa people have an adage that they say that if you see your friend's beer catching fire, you rub water on your own.
Okay. All right.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
That's true.
They will say that
because yours might already caught fire already.
You know what I'm saying? So you can't be in an apartment complex. Apartment complex is catching fire, and then you say, you know what? It's on the other side. It has not reached my own. I will wait till it gets here. You start taking precaution. There's no way you can see the end of it. So I feel like to some extent, we as humans, we are lying to ourselves. God forgive me.
Right, and that's the point I was alluding to, because I said death, right? Sometimes we even lie to ourselves. Some of us want to go to heaven, but we don't want to die.
A lot of these cases don't end well, man. So lying to ourselves like, oh, you know what, my own is not as bad as our own. You always say the emotions will be your mate.
Not true, you just nail it on the head. Ola, Hey, let me tell you, Ola, have you been called to go to court with somebody that's going through domestic something or that's going through divorce? Have you done that in America? I've been there as a community leader. And you know, let me remind you of the Ghanaian pastor that killed the wife. That story was, last year, 2 years ago, maybe in Florida too. That had the church.
Yes, I remember. Yeah,
you remember the video when the man, the wife were dragging in, and the brother to the wife, intervened, and the man later came back.
Right.
So a violent man is always a violent man, and that's why they give people restriction order in America. But no, they give you some that you don't want to go there. Some people, even with the restriction order or whatever, people still go ahead and buy the person they want to buy. We've had cases of people coming to a salon to come and buy their wife there because that's the way they can get them. So, money, okay,
I remember that one.
Yeah, so when you are, this is not internet talk. When you see this car, when you experience it, man. I went to call with somebody. Elders from the church came. This is even a white church, white people's church. And one of the elders from the other side was telling me, Patrick, and I agree, this 70-something-year-old person. And they were saying, this person, you have to be very careful with this person. And we have to be talking to the parties involved. Because the elders have been involved. Me, I came from Nigeria past, so I was involved too.
Right.
Because a Nigerian marrying a white. So, you better run from such people. Some people will never change.
Right.
Yes, some people will never change. They will never seek counsel. They are not there to make the relationship work. And it's going to affect the children. They are ready to buy somebody.
And now she refused to leave. She stayed because of the kids, and now she's not here. He's not here, and the kids are by themselves. Just to digress a little bit, right? I have like 4 family members that have died from breast cancer, and 3 of them. The reason why it ate them up to that stage was because somebody told them that you cannot do orthodox treatment for it. You have to do traditional. And they went to all these traditional routes that have not been proven successful.
Oh my God!
Till it got to stage 4.
So to my point earlier, right? To my point earlier, it's tricky.
I know it's tricky, but this is my point, and this has made me like a very strong advocate of breast cancer. If you don't have any proof, don't come and tell me shit, because having 4 or 5 family members gone through that, I don't need anybody to come and tell me. I don't need
me too. At least now I don't have enough information because I don't have the experience. But at least now I will always tell if I have to advise anybody, I will make sure that they at least collect multiple opinions from professionals that go by way of studies that has been done.
I single-handedly sponsor a lady's chemotherapy and surgery this year just because I remembered my aunt. It wasn't easy. But the moment I heard it, I'm like, you're not going to be a statistic. Is she doing well now? She's doing fine.
So let's move in the direction of, I like your direction, by the way, so far, you and Brother Patrick. What are the signs, right? Because that's the where I'm driving in the direction, right? What are the signs? Because again, a person that's living with a husband, the last thing they are thinking of, they might normalize it. They can see things and they will normalize it. They will see things, they will justify it, right? They tend to do that, right? What are the, in your opinion, explicit signs? We'll go with Natu first, then we'll go to Brother Patrick, right? That people should not take for granted. They should find their levels as soon as they see it.
One of the signs is that the moment you start getting to the stage where maybe you probably know already that the person gets angry easily. But when it's becoming more obvious and more common, like they can't control themselves and they do a little stuff like maybe harm you or go extra mile to do some like stupid, crazy things, that are not normal and they come back to tell you, oh, I'm sorry because I was upset at that time, run. Run. Because
what did you just say about I'm sorry?
When they finish doing everything, cursing you out, hurting you, and they come back to say I'm sorry, run.
Okay.
Because these kind of people, the day that they have something near them that they can hurt you, they do it. By the way, I forget to they said that this guy have been to the psychiatric in the last 1 year twice already.
He has.
Yes.
Oh my God.
So there's the mental situation. No, you know why I agree? For him to pry her and call the cops. He was the one that called the cops.
He called
and
the cops.
Waited for them. Yes.
I mean, I'm looking at this mugshot. This mugshot looks like somebody that has some deep trouble.
That's one. Two, and he wasn't remorse. They said they did a live streaming of the court case. People that were close to them that watched, they said he
had no remorse. Yeah, because he probably felt like he had no reason to live.
Exactly. This is another thing that I have to say, right? You see this lack of remorsefulness. He didn't start exhibiting it today.
Well, so what does that look like before when you're married to that person and you're in the same house with that person?
So what it looks like is that you might be going through pain and the person will act like they're not even aware you're going through that. Or the person might like hurt you and sit to watch you going through that pain without caring or without doing anything to change it. And then for the long while that you've known them, they've not been making any effort to change.
Okay. So would this go with it? This is my sign number 1 here.
Unusual hostility, be allowed if argument escalate into intense anger. You can't say anything more than that.
Yeah,
this is just it.
Let me keep that away. What else should be, and any other signs you think of?
People that have just this. I'm not gonna say just. I know, but I'm gonna add something to it. But this anger, hostility is like one of the major.
Right. People just don't wake up one day and start having crazy hostility.
No.
They've been showing signs of it.
They've been showing signs. And they've been showing signs, and another thing I have to add again is because you've been tolerating and accommodating them. So they have this idea that you're not going anywhere. And again, I'm sorry. These are the kind of people that act like if I can't have you, nobody can have you.
Right.
Let me give you a quick backstory. I dated a guy that's from Katsina, and I used to hear that Katsina men are very possessive. This guy gave me everything I wanted. I don't spend my salary. Like my twin sister had my ATM card at that time I worked in UBA. My twin sister has my ATM card. I don't spend my salary. Like this guy takes care of everything I need. When I mean from my hair to my clothing to my pocket money to my phone. The only thing left that this guy didn't get for me at that time was a car. I was deliberating about the car. But let me tell you what happened. This guy is very possessive. If I would tell him now that, I'm going to go and see Lola and Ola in New Jersey, or if he calls me and I say, I'm in New Jersey with Ola and Lola, guess what? He's going to come in an hour's time and tell me, I'm outside, when you're done, I'll take you home. No joke.
Wow.
No joke. So the moment I start seeing these signs,
is that jealousy or what?
Yes, that's jealousy. That's possessiveness. They want to have you for themselves. And then again, he was married, but I didn't know because he told me he was never married, and I got to find out he was married, and he wouldn't let me break up with him.
Yeah.
So what I did at that time, like Brother Ben told us today, I was withdrawing from him gradually, but I never told him. One of my aunties, that passed away from breast cancer, sneaked and told him that I was seeing someone, and it became an issue, right? And I calmed that situation down. But what I did to him was that I was leaving for America and I didn't tell him. So the only thing that was that when I left,
I think you shared a little bit of that before.
Yeah, when I left, our security guard said to him, I didn't see you going to the airport with Madame. He was like, what airport? He was like, I'm losing left for America today. He said, I'm blowing my phone about the airport. I just switched off. When I came to Nigeria last month, I went to Abuja Wuse Market. I saw him. If you see the way I pulled my veil and I did 360 here, I just disappeared. So yes. So and then he started talking on Facebook, started doing all this emotional blackmail. I don't believe you're gonna do this to me after everything. But I was very adamant and I just keep on blocking him. And that's all I was doing. I was just blocking. But yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. So extreme jealousy, overwhelming jealousy might indicate deeper insecurities that can manifest as controlling behavior. All right, pause right there. Before you continue, let me go to Brother Patrick. Brother Patrick, we have some things to share. Brother Patrick, sir, any other signs you can think of?
Yeah, Natu said almost what I wanted to say, but I'm just gonna rephrase it another way. Number one, if that person has a consistent behavior that refuses to change, and you still hang out with him, you are an enabler.
Hey,
so whatever happened to him, or whatever it does to you, you caused it. And when it comes to marriage, it's going to have a multiplier effect that's going to span on the children and the family. Like this guy's case, the children is going to affect them mentally, emotionally as well.
Right.
We are not even talking of today. It's going to have a very long impact on the family. Yes, I have somebody like that, one of my friends, that thing happened to. When we were growing up, Ola, when Jomo, parents used to beat kids then. When this boy, father wants to deal with him, you dare not get to their door. By the time this guy comes out, you see all his eyes will be swollen. With serious beating anger. That you say, what happened? You can't, and he's not going to go to hospital. They're just going to use the hot water to press him and whatever. So, when the man...
I'm sorry, but apparently you use hot water. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
The way you said they use hot water and press you.
Yes, now, it's wrong. So when the man had issue with the mom has to leave. Ola, I couldn't believe it. Me and the guy went to see the mom. So as we were coming, just saw the man. The man was not asking the guy that the mother in his separate yes. Can you believe this man went to pie the mother? That same day, he didn't pie her, but one of the hand cut off. The man cut the woman to pieces. Ola, this is a serious matter. Up till now, I'm talking about something about more than 40 years ago. We didn't see the man. They said the man just went somewhere to pie himself. He can't even discover the body. So it's a deep cause on the family. So
yeah.
So I summarize it, but when you allow it, you are an enabler.
If you so another way I always say that is that people don't change their behavior unless they're gravitating away from pain or towards pleasure or some type of relief, right? So the idea that you expect people to change their behavior when you are directly or indirectly rewarding it,
at least
it's insanity.
Seek for help.
Seek for help. Yes.
Yeah, especially when like this.
If you're confused, if you're not so sure, because it can be confusing if you're the one in it, right? Seek help. Seek help.
Another thing that I would say that if you have somebody that has like a maybe coming from a violent background, not even having a history like a partner, if you grow up in that kind of environment, now there's a high chance that you exhibit that.
Right.
The only situation where you can allow yourself to be this kind of person is when you have the person say by themselves, I went through this and I don't want to experience it. I don't want my family to experience this, and I'm working on it. I'm doing therapy and doing the rest. And then you know that the person is taking a personal decision to work on that. But don't try to be a messiah.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what? I'm not like that, so I think being with me will change. No, it's not going to do that.
Yeah.
The person had to make a personal decision. Exactly. So I think women in a lot of situations, we try to be the messiah, and it ends up biting us in the butt.
Yeah.
And like Patrick has said, like, a lot of times we are caught up in being enablers. Imagine somebody doing all this shit to you, gets a new car, lives in the house and doesn't pay rent, luxury home, have all your kids taken care of. Like, I'm not trying to blame her, but let's not give, you know what I'm saying? If you want all of that, go work for it.
Yeah.
Like, I'll tell you, my husband came to this country, I think, 3-4 years ago. The level that he has put towards school and getting certifications has tripled what I have done before he got here. When I mean, like, every year this man like has to have a certification.
Right. Because he's going.
You understand what I'm saying? Exactly. Like, he tried doing Uber. He's like, I don't want to do this. So now that you don't want to do this, what do you want to do? So, like, I need to get all those papers that I need to get it straight, and he's doing that.
Right.
So, but when men are doing some kind of like stuff, and then we women keep giving them like, oh, I just want to support my husband, I'm doing this for my kids. Like, sometimes it's not even worth it, man. Yeah. We have a situation of Frida that we saw now. She went and enabled that Mungo Park, and what happened? This guy sitting on the internet saying shit about her.
Right. Yeah.
Ola, let me throw this in.
Yes, sir.
You know, social skill, men's social skill affect as well. You know, and that might lead to being possessive. Some men that have not really dated fine girls or maybe had 2 years.
That goes back to that jealousy issue there.
Yeah, by the time they have one, say yes.
But Patrick, let me shock you. They also said that she did a mommy makeover.
She don't go to tighten stuff. Oh my God.
Yeah.
He probably felt like he's lost control of her.
Exactly, and he might lose her too.
Yeah, they do vaginal rejuvenations these days, Abra Patrick.
Everything here, and when my friend said that,
I mean, yes. I'm talking of men. That men that
I understand what you're saying, but what I'm saying is that her doing the makeover kind of like put her in a class that is higher than his. So I feel like it kind of like threatened him and made him more insecure.
Yes, now. You know, I'm sorry that, you know, when we came to this country, my wife wants to do nursing. I said, I don't have to. There's no competition or like that. All of us cannot be nurses. It doesn't matter. You can have more. How much does most nurses have? You know, I went back to school. I got my MBA. So all of us don't have to be nurses now, you know, and everything has to do with covetousness. You don't have to be running after your wife's money. She could be. This is America. Anybody can be. You know, I have said it. One of my friends is a tax preparer. He said they have one couple. The woman is making $750 a year, and the husband just making $75. They fight jointly. So it depends on the man too. No, you don't have to. Anybody can do whatever I want. Like I just gave you the example of that woman. Anybody can. Yes, anybody can be anybody in America. This is a capitalist country.
Yeah. So
MOP, you know, honestly, right? After reading that book, Stop Walking on Eggshells, I feel like there are a lot of like attribute that a lot of people have, partners have, spouses have, that a lot of people normalize it because of where we're coming from. Have you heard of something called the borderline disorder?
Explain that. Borderline disorder. What is it?
So the borderline is those people that are normal one day. Let me just say sweet and sour sauce.
Oh, it's like bipolar?
Yes. But I don't know if they're kind of like a little bit better than bipolar, but kind of like they're on the borderline. They'll be good 1 second, the next second they switch off and they just go off. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I when I'm looking at that guy, I don't know his whole story yet, but he wanna fall like, because 1 second you're gonna be sweet, the next second you just turn out to be like a monster. Like, bro, come on.
You know, as I always say, human beings have patterns, right?
Right.
People just don't wake up and behave a certain way. Okay.
Nope.
However, that does not necessarily translate to premeditated. You know, that does not always translate to that. We're talking about a person that's going through their own trouble in terms of particularly from a mental health standpoint, right? So it's not always a situation where, especially if they're going to be calling 911 on themselves and stuff like that, it's hard for me to conclude to premeditation when it comes to that. I do believe that he had bad behaviors. I do believe that there were signs, and we've mentioned a few of them. You've talked about the unusual hostility, right? You've talked about, Brother Patrick talked about history of violence, which is number 6 of 8. You talked about extreme jealousy. I want to add this ones to it, right? Sign number 2 of 8 signs that I came here with today. Isolation tendencies, right? This can show up as they just get angry every time there are other people around, or they get angry at your family, or even you yourself. You don't want anybody to know what's going on. It could come up in that form as well too. Is that bad? But you're not proud of it. So the last thing you want to do is to be talking to other people about it. These are some of the signs that watch for: a partner's attempt to isolate you from friends and family, cutting off support systems. Did you want to add on to that, or I can move forward?
Yeah, I agree with what you said.
Okay. Number 3, control and manipulation. Obviously, I talk about that here all the time. Recognize signs of excessive control or manipulation, as this can lead to more serious issues. These are mild ways that this behavior shows up. Like we've been saying, people just don't jump out of the skies and do something terrible. They've been showing this type of behavior where they are very possessive in nature. Number 4, threats and intimidation. If somebody's outrightly telling you what they will do, like, don't play with that. You don't say, "Oh no, you will never do it.
I'll divorce you. I'll leave you."
Like, no, let's not play with that. At the
And
very minimum.
This lies on both sides. You know that, right? Because
All
we
sides.
talk about this on TV shows today too.
Yes.
And I think somebody was talking about it. Let me talk to women, because sometimes, I used to say it all the time. Like I used to belong to that WhatsApp girl until I went to God. But
right. Yes, it's
no,
true.
but I'm serious. So, but
it's on both sides. It's on both sides.
Yeah, sometimes we just say stuff even that we don't mean it. But I feel like it's kind of common with couples.
Right.
Once they have misunderstanding, they want to draw blood. Like everybody wants to say something to the other person.
Your own pound of flesh.
See how bad they can get you. Like, bro.
Yeah.
This is not a war zone. Like, I'm not
in that state of mind at that point in time.
That's the only thing that's important.
Yeah, something is bad. This one says any form of threat or intimidation is a red flag that should not be ignored. Should not be ignored doesn't mean you exit your marriage, or
no.
It just means it needs to be addressed, because
it
needs to be addressed. Don't just push it under the rug. Like, no, if a person is saying things like that, they might need help. They might not know what's going on with them, because again, remember, mental health, right? So we gotta be careful.
And this
with that.
boils down to what you try to educate us every day about self-awareness. And this is another point where I'd like, especially Africans, they see getting therapy or seeing a psychiatrist as something like wrong with you. Like, if you need help, seek help.
Yeah.
Like, if you feel like you want to be at a no judgment zone and talk to somebody, get a therapist.
Yeah. All right, so this next one is so simple, we overlook it, okay? But lack of communication. When you don't feel heard, when you don't feel seen, either when a man does not feel heard or seen, right? When you combine that with, for example, this one, history of violence, right? When you combine that with a couple of other signs here, resentment is not anybody's mate too.
Nope.
Yeah, so if he's saying something and then it seems like he's just suddenly quiet, he stops talking altogether, those are some of the signs that we need to pay attention to. Frustrations will start creeping in, and like we always say, men are included in this also. We tend to say that just for women. We don't know what anybody's threshold is, right? And the damages might be too great to reverse. Unfortunately, that's the story we're covering today.
The earlier the better.
Yeah, so we already covered this, but Patrick covered this history of violence. Take heed if a partner has a history of aggressive behavior. Patterns are exactly what they are. Human beings have patterns, but it also has a tendency to trend upwards if you don't address them. So, seek help. Number 7, extreme jealousy. Overwhelming jealousy might indicate deeper insecurity. We already covered that. And last
This
but not
jealousy is on another level, and I'm telling you that if you find yourself in that situation, run. How can you tell somebody I'm going to Connecticut and New Jersey, and the next thing the person tells you I'm outside, when you're ready, I will take you home?
Yeah, my wife has a similar story. She has a similar story of somebody she dated before me. That person, she was here in Jersey, and that person would just be downstairs. I'm downstairs. That person was, I think it was Maryland or something like that.
He provides stuff that he provides for me, not because sometimes he wants to, but sometimes because he wants to keep everybody away from me and show me that
it's because of number 3. It's because of number 3. It's because of control and manipulation. It can also be because of this.
He has a PhD in manipulation.
Yeah.
When I left America, I was telling him the messages I got in Facebook, I can't believe he can do this, da 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 da. Okay, then he went back to where did we even start from? Look at you. Because I'm like, yo, hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on.
It's dangerous. Those are the mild version of what the unfortunate story we're covering today.
Right.
That they are mild, but they can escalate easily. Brother Patrick, please feel free to interject me if you see anything you want to add on to. Sign number 8 of 8, unresolved conflicts. When there's conflict and they brush it under the rug, right? To you, it might even look like we've resolved that, right? Like that should be in the past, Ignoring and glossing over conflict rather than addressing them can lead to explosive situations. Remember, emotions no be our mate. I know from a logical, quote unquote, fake logical standpoint, no, just speak your mind. Just say what you have. Say what's on your mind. Why would you? But that's not how it works. It's something you need to pay attention to, that we're talking about emotions, the mind, right? And then we're talking about sometimes people's trauma from their past, long before you,
right.
But the thing is that you have to take responsibility as well, because you're now in a marriage or relationship with them. You have to kind of take some level of responsibility in helping them. Not take responsibility for their healing, but in being a safe environment for them to express, and also understand that you have the freedom. You can walk away if it's that bad. You always have that agency. You always have that autonomy to say, I don't think you can do this, and then also do that wisely. I think you guys mentioned that.
Right. Also from a personal perspective, right? Talking about not that we're aiding, not that you're trying to heal the person,
right?
But whatever you react on your own side might mar or build the relationship. So I think from a personal perspective, when I was talking about my mouth, I realized that there are some troubles that my husband has had. That the way I was reacting to some certain issues were not helping.
Right.
So those same issues that I was reacting that certain way, I was blowing the whole house out. The same issue that I would sit and talk about, I would laugh about, and be like, okay, I don't like it this way, I like it that way. So now I'm asking myself, so why were we blowing out the house all the time?
Right.
It was the tone.
Yeah, because there are catalysts around us at the end of the day. Yeah. All right, I'm going to fly through these 10 things, and then I'll get to your last word and get Brother Patrick's last word. I might just spark something off that you need to say, but I'm going to fly through it. Lesson number 1, conflict resolution. Learning how to handle conflicts in a non-violent manner is crucial. Seeking, obviously, this person has committed now at this point in time, so it's too late for him. But it goes for all of us at the end of the day. Seeking help from therapists, counselors, and support groups can provide strategies. Number 2, anger management. Managing anger and emotions is essential. Developing healthy coping mechanisms, and seeking professional help is needed. If needed, can prevent situations from spiraling out of control. Lesson number 3, seeking help. Seek help. A lot of us Africans still assume that you can treat yourself mentally. That doesn't make any sense, right? So it doesn't matter how many root books you've read, how many degrees you have in psychology. you can't see the forest from inside the forest. People on the outside can see it better. Lesson number 3, seeking help. If you and your partner are struggling with personal issues, seeking help, professional help is important. Wise counsel. Lesson number 4 of 10, recognizing warning signs. We already covered some 8 signs already. Friends, family members, and even the individuals involved should be aware of warning signs of escalating tension. So even as a friend, family on the outside, you can help. Excuse me, hold on. All right, lesson number 5, support systems. I think we've kind of mentioned this, but building and maintaining a strong support network can provide individuals with outlets of emotional expression and help during difficult times. We all go through difficult times. Majority of situations don't end up like this, but the one too many situations is why we're addressing this today. Lesson number 6, equity and autonomy. Relationships should be based on equality. I forgot to change that. It's actually equity, okay? Because what's equality to you might be different from the other person, but when you pay attention to how they see things, it becomes equity. It lands better. Equity and autonomy. Both partners should feel feelings. It doesn't mean you can count it by number of cements. They should feel like they have a say in decisions and control over their lives. They might just shoot and say, no, babe, just cover that. You got that. They might say that. That means they still feel like they're part of it, right? Lesson number 7 of 10, healthy role models and wise counsel, positive role models for healthy relationships, whether real or fictional. So books are beautiful. That's why I will keep writing books, okay? All right, you can see our new book cover is already up on the screen, so you can expect that anytime. Prevention, isolation, preventing isolation. We talked about this as a sign, right? Isolation can exacerbate issues within relationships. Maintaining connections with friends, family, and social activities outside relationship is helpful. You need that because to give you a sense of what's normal and what you shouldn't normalize. Okay, it's good examples to not compare yourself to, but to have a good gauge of I hope I'm not moving mad. Right? Lesson number 9 of 10, early intervention, just like cancer, as early as possible. If problems arise, addressing them early can prevent them from escalating into dangerous situations. Ignoring issues and hoping they will go away can lead to more of its likes. Okay, lesson 10 and 10 of 10 of 10. Breaking the cycle. If someone has a history of violence or witnessed it in their family, seeking therapy and counseling can help break the cycle. All right, we need to can help break the cycle and prevent such behavior from being perpetuated. Remember patterns, perpetuation, vicious cycle, right? It also goes up in that level. All right. Sorry for the noise for the audience. I know somebody was noisy just now. I didn't pay attention to that. But yes, let me go to Brother Patrick first. Brother Patrick, let me get your last word. I'm sure I probably said something that you felt like you should expand on.
Hey, Ola, like I said the last time, some of us are enablers, or perhaps we have the same traits as our partner. So we've all dated before we got married. And now to just give an example, there are some people you would date that you say, this one will not work. You know what I mean? I can't marry, this one cannot work. I can't marry this person. So if you marry that person, that means you have that trait. You agree with him. So I'm going to give you, I believe in practical. I have somebody here, a family member. We are talking of somebody in the late 50s. So we are discussing a lady. So this lady now said, so much, he's going to cut some people from his phone. He's going to block some people. Hola, I didn't know I was part of the people she was going to block. She actually blocked me. She said, she too wants, you know what she said? She said she too wants to marry a man of God. I said, what do you mean? He said, well, if I didn't agree with him, he said, well, after some months, she's going to block some people. When I got blocked, I felt bad. I said, have I done anything wrong to this lady? Did I not cancel her well? Until later, I now found out that very close member of the family, she decided to block them.
This auntie has issues, so.
Yes, all the children, she makes sure the children doesn't contact anybody, communicate with anybody. Ola, could you believe this lady went ahead and married a supposed man of God in Nigeria? They actually did a wedding. If you can marry someone that calls himself a Christian at that age, and none of your family know about it, there's an issue.
That's an issue, yeah. I'm always against eloping for marriage. I'm always against that.
This lady don't talk to anybody for more than 5 years. No member of her family that she talked to. She literally blocked everybody. She went ahead and got married to this man, you know, and they were, you know, I like, what kind of life is this? And the children are grown up, they were aware. They signed their mom and were like, what? Are you kidding me? So, you know, Nigeria is so small that people will know, you know, when we begin to hear stories, we are like, oh my God. Oh.
Yeah.
And this is a woman that's already made it in America, sold her property, went there. So I just say, well, she's an adult. I'm not going to say anything. I just say, okay. So that's why I'm bringing.
Yeah, so listen, it happens from time to time. It's happened to me before, but I'm also very good at giving people their space. I'm also very good at assuming best case scenario. Best case scenario from my side is that they're going through something and they probably need my support in that way, like just to give them some space. You know, worst case scenario is that I'm offended. Like, why would you block me? What did I do to you? Right? That's the worst case scenario. But I can do that forever. You know, it comes from a place of I know better, but I can do that. I just give people their space.
I was offended initially, but later now found out that people, elderly people, they were older than me. She blocked everybody. That's good for her.
It's about them. You see, that's another thing. It's about them more so than it's about you.
So I just thank God. But I know, because, you know, we've been to hear background story now. Even the children are regretting what their mother did. They are not happy. They are not moving forward. Like, so the woman is an enabler. She has the same character whoever she wants to marry.
Yes.
Yes.
And oftentimes that's the case. And it crosses the lines where some people might say you are victim shaming, but they go, they're all right. The truth is that there's more to this story than pointing fingers at in any of these stories.
It's not victim shaming. We are just analyzing it, and we see that these people are enablers too. So,
Yes, because people won't continue a behavior unless it's being rewarded somehow. It doesn't have to be you rewarding it, but they are being rewarded somehow, some way. That's why they continue the behavior.
Yes, you are compromising. You are going along with it. You are not that you can think you can get out of it.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
No problem.
I appreciate you, sir. Anytime, you're welcome up here. Anytime, sir.
Yes, sir. God
all right,
bless
sir.
You, my brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Not to
Area.
Tell me, what's on your mind?
Oh my God, a lot, man. It's a lot. You know, just what I'm gonna say, right? Like Brother Patrick has said, in a lot of situations, we find ourselves to be enablers.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So first thing first, check yourself. That's number one. Number two, anything that is wrong, honestly speaking.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah, if you have, there is no way, even in the aeroplane, if they are giving you safety precaution, they will tell you have to save yourself first.
Yes.
Before you save someone else, right? And then if anything happens, in the case of emergency, just come out by yourself and leave everything behind.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying? So you have to be alert to be able to go and look for maybe your phone was inside the fire, your passport, your bag. But if you stay trying to drag your bag and your passport and your phone, maybe all of them will catch fire. Do
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? So safety precaution is always the first thing, honestly speaking. This is not encouraging people to leave their marriages, honestly speaking, but giving space sometimes to make some adjustments is okay. If your house is leaking and it's rainy season, you have to leave the house, be able to fix the house well so that you can live well in it. You
Right.
understand what I'm saying? So we just have to take precautions, honestly speaking. We don't want to be sharing bad stories every day. We want to be carriers of good news too.
Right.
And
But
there's no pleasure in sharing this bad news, but sometimes we have to share it for the lessons.
right.
But
For the
then if
lessons.
we're sharing the lessons every day and people are not passing the exam, then our lesson, our
So,
lesson is not lessoning. You know what I'm saying?
People are picking them
So,
up. They're picking them up. You know.
listen, I've told you, like, if anybody tells you they not learn from your show, I personally, I have.
Yeah. Thank you,
And I
Jerry.
always say I have to give you credit for that. Because everything self-awareness, emotional intelligence, I picked it up from this show and to this show.
Yeah. That's
Honestly
awesome.
speaking. So that's why I say you cannot afford not to be self-aware. You can't afford it. Honestly speaking. In this 2023, nah, you cannot. Not let
Yep.
anybody do the things of our parents. Oh, you have to stay for the children. No.
The
Are the children
dangers are
going to
too.
stay for
The
you?
dangers are too huge. They're too.
They are too huge. Are the children going to stay for you? Now you're not here, he's not here. Nobody's going to help the children. So what's the gain? There's no gain in it.
Yeah.
So we need to do better. Honestly speaking, you can't change people. People have histories. If people open their mouth and say, I want to make changes, that's fine. But don't be a messiah because you're not.
Yeah. You have to save yourself first. The same thing I tell this man. Once they've gone through problems, they want to jump out to the internet and help more people so they don't go to. I said, you're not. It's too early. You need to save yourself first. If you haven't taken the time to save yourself, your mental
There's
state,
no how.
you can't save anybody else. You don't know what you're looking at. You know what you feel. You know what you've gone through. It's all valid. But in terms of how it translates to everybody else, you have no idea. You need to assess those things first. And maybe a small pushback against what you said earlier, right? Which is plan your exit. The plan part may be closer to what I'm about to say, right?
Okay.
Anytime we see problems, we need to assess it first before we jump into a solution, right? I remember now because it correlates to what I'm saying. We need to assess it first. So this is even in the professional world, right? How much more in a situation where it's purely driven by emotions, right? We need to assess the situation. If it's a situation where the person demonstrates that there can be potential physical harm to you, no, you're not assessing. You need to leave first. I'm not saying until they've done it first. So when it feels like you're not sure if this is going to lead down this route, if it's that confusing, you need to leave first. And especially, gentlemen, that goes for you because you're the one that will sit down there. You don't really feel any kind of fear because you're a man, right? But what about the reverse? What about if you're provoked? What if you black out, right? You want to come back to the internet and they're telling you it was premeditated and it was a blackout. A lot of these people black out, you know. But why do you want to wait until then? If you look at a situation that seems like you're not able to de-escalate, just because you can't de-escalate doesn't make you not a man. Some things you can de-escalate. Some things you're not. You know, they say prophet is not honorable in his own town, right? Just because you're in the middle of that relationship and you're the culprit, she's not listening to you. She doesn't have respect for you anymore. So don't try to command respect or anything like that. Leave before you become before you become this kind of situation, right?
Right.
So because after you become this kind of situation, there's no mercy. It's over. It's
And people need to stop being oblivious, thinking, "Oh, this can't happen to me." God forbid. No,
it can happen to anyone.
Stop it.
And I think to that point that it has to be premeditated. When we say it has to be premeditated, it's a way for us to alleviate ourselves from it can happen to anybody. It's a way to say we are holier. No, you're not holier. If you keep staying in the position where you're being provoked, you might black out. You might throw something across the room that will hurt somebody, and you didn't mean to throw it at them.
You know, earlier in a TV show, I said I was talking about one of my colleagues that I know that had a license to carry the bomb, and she refused to get one because both she and her ex-boyfriend had temper.
Yeah.
It's just like, I know myself. If I get upset, I can do anything. So I don't want to have that in my house. That's being self-aware.
Some people say, I know myself. I will never be that upset. That's not true.
No, she didn't say she's not going to be that. She just said she doesn't want everyone in the house.
I heard you. I'm saying some people will say the opposite of it. Right? They say, I know myself. It can never be me. They might say it directly, indirectly. Like, no. The best for any one of this stuff we're talking about, right? It's about positioning yourself to win. Don't assume that you're capable of winning. You need to position yourself. Remember, there are catalysts, there are systems, right? That control social systems, whatever, that controls how we behave. If you don't understand that, you might be building a massive blind spot for yourself.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, those.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. You're
welcome.
Have
a good night. Say hi to my sister.
All right. Talk soon. Bye-bye.
All right.
All right. Let's end this on a good note. Fab Stolly, hello, says, consider this as a deal breaker. Time to leave. When you realize that in an emergency, that person may not save you, it's intuitive. Just don't play with this. Don't play with this. If you're like, I'm not sure they can't. No, at that point in time, it's already too late. You should go and find help. It doesn't have to be a permanent decision, but at least for that moment, you're safe, you're in good hands. Don't be there waving in their face and all this kind of stuff. Don't do any of that. That's not to say she did that. I'm just saying, but we shared 8 signs today, So I'm sure those 8 signs will, maybe 1 or 2 you can adjust, maybe 2 or 3 you can adjust. You realize that there's more to it. There's always more to the stories. We don't know what happened in that situation. So our condolences go to that family. But that could be anybody. This is not a situation where say it can never be me. No. That could be anybody. The only way, the closest thing to that this situation not being you is if you understand emotions. You understand that emotions don't be your mate. If you understand that you need to position yourself in an environment where they stimulate you to be your best self, right? That's all you need to be doing. If I don't care about marriage. Throw marriage to the side for a second. You as an individual, you need to be around people that stimulate you to continue to be the best. People that continue to encourage you directly or indirectly. Just by them being around you, you just naturally want to be your best. So even on your lazy days, you feel like you want to be your best just because you're around these types of people. If they're a husband, good. But it's not about that. If they're a husband and they are working in the opposite direction, as in like you feel like there's this active urge, active things that make you feel like, why is he jealous of you? If you're feeling like, why is he jealous of you? It's time to address that, right? I'll never be here and tell you that, no, it's not jealousy. No, I will probably ask you more questions, right? But a lot of people are jealous of you. They don't even realize they're jealous of you because it's coming from a much deeper place than quote unquote intentions, right? It doesn't mean it's not as harmful, but you need to understand that it can be coming from a weak place. It might be coming from a place where they need help, because oftentimes you are married to this person. It's not as simple. It's easier said than done for anyone to tell you to just run, right? So even if you leave, it might be temporary. You might have to deal with this person. There was that guy, there's a story, it was like less than a year ago, who literally went into the ex's apartment and took everything out, including the persons. They were not together either. So just leave. It's not necessarily an absolute solution, right? But it's a first step. But there's more to it. You need to assess the situation, you need to seek therapy, you need to make sure you're safe, right? There's a lot more there, but bottom line here is that where you are today, if you find that you're confused about this, please seek help. The only thing we can do is work with today? Where are you today? Is this a situation that you feel like you're in the situation? Pick up that call, send an email, send a text message, and say, hey, I want to share something with you. I want to know your take on this. Make sure they are wise counsel. All right. Hopefully, you've been enlightened and educated on this setup today. I wish you the very, very best in your journey. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.
Your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Make love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, we done enough.